You ever been so busy with life and just focusing on the virus and everything from a political spectrum that you forget the 1 fucking year anniversary or you forget the 1 year birthday of your own fucking podcast? A little so the H.E.C, a little so the H.E.C, yada yada yada. You know what I'm going to talk about, alright? It's been 1 year since this channel's been going, alright? So today's the channel itself's birthday. Actually, the 23rd was, but the way how I see it, the 26th is kind of, I have marked on the calendar as that being the first day of the show. Oh, shit, I burped from the soda earlier. But that is what's marked as the first day of the show, and I think that's because that's the first time I had mainly promoted it. I had like uploaded the video and it was just there for a while, but then 3 days after is when I started working on just fixing small details and stuff and the nitpicky shit, and now that video was the UFC celebrity fight one. And since then, me, Q, I'm not going to lie and try to say, oh man, we're on a consistent basis, we were killing it. We tried, things got out of hand, and we're now picking up things. I'm the one who edits the show, I'm the one who makes the thumbnails, I'm the one who does all the designs and everything. Q just shows up and he does his part of the show. And that's not to be derogatory towards him, no, I mean, he's not in the podcast for career-wise. I'm doing this because I love it and it's a passion project. He can only help out when he can. The man's busy and the man has his own life, so I've never been judgmental on him on that. Hell, I've had my own life. That's why my upload schedule hasn't been as consistent as it could have been. But, like I said in previous iterations of the Daily Dose, I've been blessed with the opportunity to have more time and not worry as much about getting my rent paid on time as previous times. So now I'm able to take care of everything. But, man, I'm just... I'm glad to see that the show is still existing. The first video has like 54 views, and to be honest, I fell off from not being consistent. I'm trying to be consistent now. That's why you got the daily episodes. This isn't nothing that I'm doing as a joke. I legitimately make daily episodes. But when I reflect on everything that I've done, and when I reflect on this channel and how it's slightly grown, I got to be a little bit proud of myself. I mean, I didn't think it would be functional, honestly, but some people watch it, some people care for it. It doesn't have like hundreds or millions of subscribers, but it's got a good number. It's got 13 now, so I'm not gonna try to make myself look like this big boss and everything, but I'm gonna do this little celebration because I'm gonna talk about the past year that I had making this show. This show had started from the fact that when I was working with Q would hear me joke, and he was just like, man, you ever done open mic nights? And I was like, nah. He's like, oh, well, you should. Well, then the deal with open mic nights was just my age at the time was a problem. And so me and him were just like, oh, well, you know what? I told him, hey, what if I buy this podcast equipment? Because I moved out for the purpose of this podcast and this show. What if I buy this and then we make the show? So originally, it was the Sibs podcast. But then I was just like, the more and more little short videos we make, the more I feel like it'd be kind of a dick move to like professional podcasts to call ourselves a podcast. Now, we have our podcast episodes, but for the most part, we just made short videos at the time. So I was like, let's just call ourselves the South Sibs. Let's just take the podcast part out of it. And a lot of people who don't know what the South Sibs was, the South Sibs, the South being, Houston, Texas, and Sibs was just siblings. So that's kind of why I named the show that. The H.E.C was just a rap... Easy for me to say. The H.E.C was just a rap nickname that was given to me in high school. So I just kind of ran with it and just kept going. And from there, I just kept going. Didn't make as much videos as I wanted to this past year, I'm going to be honest, but things got in the way. I mean, you've seen the numbers of hosts increase, so shout out to Little Light Bright, which was my 1 year younger than my sister. You had Q, and then you had Frank. I showed him out on the Instagram, gave him a love over there at South Sibs. But yeah, this show's been going for a year now, and it's crazy to think that now I'm going to try to continuously make content for this channel because, you know what? I want to show the world that this channel is my passion project, and I'm going to have fun with it. So that's why I made the Daily Dose of the H.E.C to be more reflective, to have more fun, be more interactive, and give people a general insight of me overall. I feel that the more people know me, the more they'd be interested in the podcast. If I do more podcast episodes, time with other people's time is limited. So I just had to realize that if I want the attention or if I want to get people to watch the stuff, I'm going to have to do it myself for the moment, And that's not to say that my co-hosts are unreliable. They all have to take care of their own business. They all have to take care of their own jobs. And I'm fine with that, and it's allowed me to work on things that I needed to work on my own. So, I've made some instrumentals on Fruit Loops. They're not the best. In fact, if you want to know a little secret to the trade, the Daily Dose beginning theme is the end theme, just reversed. The beginning theme towards the end is just the same theme reversed. There's some other stuff that I've been working on Fruit Loops, but, I might just try to see who I could work with to get more music for this channel or to get more things done. The art on the thumbnails for full episodes, I've always liked working on myself and always just going with the theme of the show. You had Q holding up the baby H.E.C. That's because a 9-year-old Q would be holding my baby self up because of the fact that that's our age gap. And that's why the Childhood Icons logo is that. The Your Date With Us one, you have me in the tuxedo, him in just like the regular shirt. That wasn't the best thumbnail, admittedly, but it was the way how we made an impact. We wanted to let you guys know who we were, what we were about. So I was like, well, let's introduce ourselves in a fun way. Let's introduce ourselves like as if you are going on a date with us and we're going to answer these questions. And so it wasn't the best audio quality, but it was what we had at the moment. It got to the point where doing episodes, we were sitting like shoulder to shoulder to record stuff because of the fact that the setup was small. So I've been trying to expand the setup, but overall, I'm just glad that I'm alive for another year and that the show has been not fully successful. I'm not going to try to oversell it, but it's been alive. And I'm glad that throughout this process, I got to meet DJ of 2 Raw Entertainment. I've been on the Tourist Cast numerous times. And in fact, I've most recently been on his gaming podcast where we discussed the PS5 and that. So this show has allowed me to branch out, speak to other people, and meet a lot of people. But this show was originally me and Q, so I'm going to try to get him back as much as I can on the show. It's just the man's busy. The off time that we used to have is kind of, blah. And not only that, it's just you kind of want to be respectful of how separate we need to stay from each other because of this pandemic. So I've been so focused on the pandemic that I didn't get to think of that much, but I still want to thank everybody. If you still want to keep watching the show, I appreciate it. I appreciated everybody who's stayed since day one, everybody who's watched since day one, everybody who's talked about it to that. Shout out to my sister, Little Light Bright is how she goes on, but I'm not going to put the rest of her information because I don't know if she wants me to or not. But everybody who's helped out, DJ of 2 Raw Entertainment, he's going to be a new co-host, and that's not a replacement. No, it's just the South Sibs was always hosted by me. Anybody else who jumped on it was a co-host, but I've always loved having a co-host. So Q will always be the original co-host. So who knows? Who knows if we can get him again, but I'm going to try to get him as much as I can. But yeah, just the South Sibs have been going for a year. I wish I could have added more videos. We had movie reviews at one point, but the problem with that was the screenings were always at a whack schedule, and I couldn't really schedule myself to go to the screenings on time, which is crazy because now I have Mondays and Tuesday off, a little insight on my life, and that's normally when screenings were, but who knows when the fuck we're going back to theaters to go to screenings to see movies in advance. So, you never know. I want to be thankful to my girlfriend. She's been very critical of this podcast. Talked shit about it numerous times, but not hating-wise, just joking-wise. But, she still clicks the video and watches it. So, shout out to my girlfriend, everybody. But I want to thank my uncle who's been listening to it, talking about it. My Theo Marco and other Theos who I've heard speak about this podcast and just show it to different people. So it's always good to know that I have a small audience, even if it's my own fucking bloodline. But hey, an audience is the audience. I appreciate it. So appreciate everybody who's been watching, man. It's been a full year of the show. Not that many videos were uploaded. My apologies, but now I'm working on it to make as much possible. Hell, I'm doing a daily series. I didn't think I would do it at first, but I realized, hey, I got enough time to give you guys like 10 minutes out of my life to talk about something. So I'm just very grateful once more. Shout out to everybody. Y'all have a good one. I'm out of this bitch. South Sibs is 1 year old. Peace!